Cosmo's Wind Waker speedrun. But anyway, hey everybody, welcome back to the Premier League. As always, I am Basskip, and this is game 2 of our best of 3 set between VP and Empire for the winner bracket final. So the loser of this set will be knocked down to face Dignitas in our loser bracket final, and the winner of that will advance to face the winner of this match in our grand final. As always, this is just an unofficial cast from me, so big thanks to the Premier League guys for allowing me to provide this coverage, since casting the game is just my favorite way to watch the game regardless. So the official stream is just twitch.tv/the Premier League, and tonight it's Triumph of Man co-casting with NTH's captain Eternal Envy. So if you don't enjoy my coverage, or if I'm lagging or anything like that, then you guys can always go and check them out. But Empire very, very convincing in game 1, offensive tri-lane working out fantastically. A very similar story to what happened against Dignitas in game 1 yesterday. And VP, they're going to open up with the Keeper of the Light ban out here. Empire going to choose to ban out the Nyx. VP, we'll see if they choose to ban out the Wisp. It looks like they are not, and we'll see if Empire are worried about giving it away. Being such prolific players of Wisp, we'll see if they've got something sneaky up their sleeve to try and deal with it if VP do opt to pick it, but not sure if VP will invest the first pick, because if Empire sort of leave the Magnus in the pool, then they can either get themselves Wisp in a position where they can instantly lock CK Wisp, or Tiny Wisp, a great combo with Wisp, whatever it is. It could even be the Nakes. Or what else is the big bans right now? They could ban out the Bat Rider, so they're gonna ban out the Magnus. So VP maybe choose Bat, I want to say, though it might be the Wisp. We'll have to see. I mean, VP this time around, they're over on the Radiant side, so they've got the advantage in terms of running a defensive tri-lane. Empire last game had the advantage in terms of running an offensive tri-lane, which they definitely took. So Wisp is going to be picked up here by Empire, and what is it going to be? Wouldn't be surprised to see the Chaos Knight, though they might be able to leave it until that last pick of this phase. Not sure if VP are going to take it, and even if they do, I think Empire would perhaps just respond with a Nyx pickup. And Nyx actually a pretty good combo. Nyx actually a pretty good combo with the Wisp. You can obviously run 3-man relocate ganks all around the map using the Infest, though you do have to sort of leave the Nyx on the other side. And Empire opting to pick up the Undying here. They keep their options open, but things are a little bit weird. Wisp is really, really bad in lane. Undying is really, really strong in lane. Wisp isn't terrible in an defensive tri-lane, though he's obviously not the best hero in the world to run in that situation. You can make more use of your regen using the tether, and he can help provide mana to sort of more really bad heroes with really bad abilities to spam their spells, well, in terms of a really bad mana pool. So the Undying does sort of fall into that category, but VP, I think they're in a bit of a tricky position right now. They can't just pick the CK to avoid Empire having it, so they need to have some reaction of their own to the Wisp. They could opt to pick up something like Disruptor as their support. Empire might choose to ban it out. They do sort of have it in the back of their minds. We did see Go Black playing a support Disruptor yesterday, though he doesn't actually go for a Glimpse build on his Disruptor, which is a little bit strange to see. So VP, they're definitely in a tough spot. In terms of dealing with what Empire are going to be running, they're going to choose to pick up the Bounty Hunters. That might just be their offlaner. Bat Rider probably heading towards mid, so now it just needs to be a defensive tri-lane for them. And this last pick might just need to secure themselves a good defensive tri-lane support. Otherwise, Empire are going to be throwing out some heavy support bans, given that it's Bat Rider, Bounty Hunter, and the last pick would probably be their carry. So, okay, here's what VP have done. They've picked up 3 red heroes, obviously, but they've picked up Bat Rider, Bounty Hunter, and Chaos Knight. So they've picked up sort of their 1, 2, 3 already, the primary farmers of each lane. Which means that Empire can now throw really, really heavy bans out on the supports, and then maybe try and run an offensive tri-lane, which is a pretty good option, frankly. I mean, Wisp, not the best hero in defensive tri-lane, I think I've already covered this, but Undying is obviously very, very strong in tri versus tri situations. And Empire, they've still sort of got the Nyx if they just want to go for that traditional defensive tri-lane of their own, try and out-farm Empire. So, interesting to see what it's going to be. But if I really think they're going to be throwing out heavy bans on defensive supports and then maybe going for that defensive tri-lane. VP, it might be a similar story. They're probably going to be looking to pick off at least one support, but they need to focus a few bans on mids and carries as well in this next phase. And it is just going to be the Nakes here by Empire. So they lose the CK, but they've probably got the next best option in the Lifestealer. So VP, what's the ban going to be for them right now? They're going to choose to ban at the TA. And again, TA versus Bat, a slightly more even matchup than I think people give it credit for. Empire, they're going to ban at the Shadow Demon, obviously a very, a great defensive support. If they just ban out the remaining setup stunners in terms of supports as well, then they could be okay, but obviously CK in defensive tri-lane can sort of provide his own setup, so supports like the Lina or the Leshrac would still be available to VP, even if things like the Rubik are banned out. And it's a frequent trend that well, I guess often, because your carry doesn't normally have setup, you're forced to pick your two supports as setup and follow-up. So something like Rubik Lina, Shadow Demon Lina. I think we've all sort of seen the pattern. But when you've got someone like CK, even just banning out the setup supports isn't necessarily enough. And VP, they definitely need some supports with some good range right now. And Empire, they're just banning them out heavily. So the Disruptor, mentioned him already sort of as a semi-counter to the Wisp Relocate. If you've got the Glimpse, you can always help shut down the ganks by sending back whoever the Wisp bought in. But with the Lifestealer, the problem is you can obviously just rage and avoid that send back. And yeah, how about that weather? The weather is ridiculous. I've got the air conditioning on right now since it's pretty hot up here in Brisbane. Okay, so VP, they're going to ban out the Nature's Prophet. So they can target a few offlaner bans here, but Empire don't really have all that many options, and I think they might perhaps still run that defensive tri-lane. Though between the Wisp, Undying, and the Lifestealer, it's not the best setup for them in the world. But Lifestealer can solo against the Bounty Hunter relatively well, and VP, they're going to ban out the Bane. So still keeping an eye out on the defensive tri-lane, though not sure if it's necessarily going to be there for Empire, with third picking that Lifestealer. But still the bans on the defensive supports, and it's a good position. It's a good thing for them to do regardless, running offensive tri-lane or not, just given that's all VP have left to draft right now. So. What's the last support going to be? Wouldn't be too surprised to just see a Rubik ban, in fact. Though, I guess it would leave VP with a lot of setup stun, not a whole lot of follow-up, so Leshrac's going to be the ban. One option for VP could be to sort of, I guess, throw a wrench in Empire's plans and run a duo mid, and then something like the Batrider on the safe lane. But not sure if that's going to be working out. And the Leshrac, a very natural partner for the CK in sort of one of those duo mids. The AA is, as always, an option, but he's just not really all that strong right now. So I think the days of CK AA duo mid are over for at least a while. And VP continue with the red strat, so they're going to pick up that Lina as their follow-up stun for the CK. Again, CK, the nature of his carry potential is that he does provide his own setup, so even with most of the setup stunners banned out, Lina can still slip her way through, and Lina worth mentioning as a reasonable counter to the Undying. I mean, a big source of Undying's survivability is being able to be around for a while in teamfights to get decay stacks up, to get heals off his ultimate, but if you can just burst him down with a Laguna Blade, then he's obviously a lot less threatening. So, Enigma's picked up here by Empire, a little bit unusual. Maybe they're just looking to go greedy right now, not afraid of what VP have sort of early on. And VP, they're going to have a pretty good defensive tri-lane between the CK Lina. There's a lot of kill potential there, but Empire can just sort of avoid it. Maybe run a jungle Enigma, send someone down to grab the XP on bot lane whenever it's available, but for now, probably just looking towards a mid, I would suspect. But obviously they can draft whichever mid they want. It's probably just going to be bat mid for VP, though again it could be a duo mid. And we'll see if they round this off with one more red hero. Though they do need another support, and I guess Lion is another option if they want more stun and someone else who is red, but not sure if that's going to be the case here. So it's going to be VS. So we get one blue hero in amidst all the red, but a pretty good setup. And Empire, what are they going to go for right now? What are their lanes going to be, in fact? So they're just going to pick up Queen of Pain. So that's going to be their mid, more than likely just played by Scandal. So getting into the game, we'll see who everyone has picked up, though I guess if you're being attentive, you can just check it out on this screen, and then we'll be getting underway. I guess, overall thoughts, I mean, Empire could still run an offensive trial lane, though there is a lot of stun over on VP right now, and the Wisp is obviously very, very susceptible to it. So getting into the game, Empire, well, over on Empire, Blow is going to be, Blow Your Brain is going to be playing the Lifestealer, SS or Silent is going to be playing the Wisp, Scandal on the Queen of Pain, Go Black on the Undying, and Funnick actually going to be playing the Enigma this game, so it's going to be a Silent Wisp as opposed to a Funnick Wisp. Over on the side of VP, Tame My Wild is going to be on the Batrider. It's a Bottle Rush setup for him, so he's heading towards mid. Airman heading down towards bot. He's actually got a Quelling Blade picked up. So we'll see if he can make use of that. I guess it does help add a little bit of consistency to Chaos Knight's very, very random damage. I mean, look at that attack range, 52 to 82. Last hitting under a tower is CK. Is absolutely a pain. NS is going to be playing the Lina. We're going to have KSI on the Vengeful Spirit. And Santa is going to be playing the Bounty Hunter this game. And not sure if he's going to be pulled anything to start off. That's not his salve. He's got enough to pick up a 4-man shield, but he does need to grab a little bit more regen if he's going to be going for that one. So we'll have to see. And still no clear indication of lanes. We're still going to have this pause for a little bit, and this is obviously my weakest point in terms of casting. Just trying to keep things entertaining during the pause. But we do have starting items picked up, so we can check things out. Funnick, 3 Clarity, Sage's Mask, Soaring, very standard opening for Enigma, though slightly greedy. Did he pick up the Courier? Not sure. Blow Your Brain, still no items picked up just yet. Goblack's got some obs, Silent nothing just yet. And whether or not we see sentries might determine whether or not this offensive tri-lane is still going to be attempted by Empire, though it looks like Funnick heading up towards top, or probably just in the jungle. I mean, with no regen, I don't think he's going to be really in lane, but Blow Your Brain waddling his way towards mid. Scandal's got the magic stick picked up, so immediately calling that the Batrider is going to be mid. Go Black has some obs, Silent has some sentries, so it looks like it might just be a defensive tri-lane for them. What are starting items? We already checked in on Airman. Santa's got a poor man's shield, so he has been pulled quite a bit of regen there. NS has got some sentries and a smoke. KSI with the obs. So a pretty standard opening from both teams right now, though Queen of Pain not going for the Bottle Rush. Actually picking up a little bit of extra, not actually picking up extra regen. That's all of his own, oh, that's all of Go Black's, in fact. So that's where most of his gold has gone. Meaning that he can afford this starting build. And I should have done better mental math there to check that this starting inventory actually works out. So VP checking out the rune to start. They've got the advantages. They've got the closer high ground. So Empire probably just going to be sending one to scout, and then sending heroes up towards top, where they do have a better chance of getting it if it spawns. Santa moving in, however, with the invis. So we'll see if he's able to immediately grab this one. But they're in his bot, and it's just the regen. So no big impact on the game from that to start. Empire looks like they are just going to be running a defensive tri-lane. And Funnick denies a creep on mid, trying to give Scandal everything that he needs to survive on mid against the Batrider, but offensive ward already thrown down and de-warded by VP, so good awareness there. And that's one ward already gone for Empire. Did they already use their second obs? Not just yet, so it might just be sight of the top rune for them. But Santa, we'll see how well it works out for him up on top. There are still sentries picked up, and he doesn't have any obs to try and bait out any sentries on the pull camp or anything like that. So he's probably going to be kept out of this lane at least for a while, though. Up on the Radiant off lane, Dire safe lane, there are plenty of places for him to hide and try and sneak XP. You can hide over here. You can hide where he's currently hiding. Off in the trees over here as well is a good option. And if the lane pushes forward, you can obviously just hug back up against your tower. So KSI just stacking and pulling right now, but Empire do sort of have the advantage in a defensive setup with the true jungler of the Enigma. Even with nobody being on the offlane, Enigma jungles fast enough to sort of make up for it. And Obs ward, Sentry ward down in lane as well to spot out any movements from Santa right now, so he's getting a little bit of XP, but not all that much. Empire actually just opting to run pulls. They don't have, again, the best heroes to try and keep a bounty hunter out of lane. They don't have a real setup stun. They've got the tether, they've got the open wounds, but that's about it. And VP actually just dedicating 2 to mid right now. Not trying to, well, actually, they've got the option of the mid pulls, and looks like they actually got one off successfully, so VP putting a lot of pressure on Scandal mid. He did get a reasonable start from his team, but even the pooled regen, not sure if that's going to be enough. And Warden up on the high ground, didn't manage to refresh that stack. And Tame just burning down the creep wave. Where's the 2-minute rune? It's actually spawned up on top, so that's a double damage there. And just getting the wave pushed out, so Scandal has no chance of contesting this one. So pretty good warding right now for VP. They've got a lot of control of mid, making sure that no ganks come in and putting a lot of farming priority on their Batrider, though the CK isn't really feeling any pressure right now either. So better start for VP than the last game, but we'll see how we'll see how aggressive Funnick goes. Again, as an Enigma, you've got a couple of options. You can try and gank sort of early on and try and pick up the kills and go for the early towers, or you can just farm towards a fast blink or a fast mech and then try and be active a little bit later. So there's a decision-making process there for Funnick, and we'll see what he opts for in this case. I mean, Empire, it would be nice to see them try and make use of this Undying pickup early on. I guess the one problem that we do sometimes see with the Undying is you pick him up as a hard support, but then you pick him up on a safe lane, and by the time, well, you should have squandered the time that he's really relevant in late game, the Tombstone. I mean, CK just doesn't really care about it in the late game. So we'll see if Empire are able to make use of that. And Funnick might just be a fast mech for him. He could, well, we'll see if maybe he goes for a really cheesy quick Roshan, but don't think we've seen that yet in a competitive game with Enigma trying to solo Rosh. So Tame doing pretty well on mid, as is to be expected, but Scandal actually keeping the pace, 12 for 2 with some mid pulls and stuff being run, and VP not sure what they're smoking on. Nobody has been bought for a very, very long time. I mean, Airman's going to put some pressure on, maybe try and bait out a TP to manage the wave, but VP realizing that nobody's coming, so they're just going to be putting the pressure on the tower. Santa taking some harassment from Funnick up in the jungle. Santa probably just trying to steal off a few creeps there. And having a jungler, I guess it is an option as well for the Bounty Hunter to be doing this. The 4-minute rune is up on top. That's a haste. Scandal going to be occupied by Santa right now. And Tame just down from the low ground, a little bit indecisive. Santa taking quite a bit of damage, in fact. Tier 1 on bot will fall in just a second. KSI, no point up in the aura to help out with the push, so it's just magic missile for him. It is a really good nuke, so nice build to see there. And yeah, we'll see if VP actually opts to stop. I guess the one problem with clearing out these towers is that if they don't really make something happen with the gold. Well, speaking of making something happen, wow, first blood drawn by Santa and Tame. On the Enigma, Silent comes in, but support still pretty far away. Go Black is there, and Scandal straight in, gonna be able to pick up a counter kill, but haste pops off by Tame. He's fine to escape. So, I guess back to the previous thought. Pushing out this bottom lane by VP, it gives them a lot of early gold, and it's not a terrible decision by them, but it means that Empire do effectively get their bottom lane back. They don't really have anyone right now who's safe to farm bot when there's still the tier 1 there, since, you know, ganks can come all the way around. 3 seconds stun on Go Black. Funnick comes in, he's throwing down the Malphus, and Airman able to pick up that tower, though actually NS getting the last hit. Silent TP's in, and Airman actually paying with his life for that tower gold. So Empire find a pretty good counter kill. Now the move speed forward, and Lena pretty slow, 295. Go Black getting back in range. A few more right clicks from Silent. There's the decay. Can they pick up this kill? One more right click is all they need. Good magic missile. Stun. Turn around. Silent drops the tombstone. It goes down, but looks like NS might be able to escape. Not enough mana for the decay. And just there, but one right click from Go Black is enough. And he's now going to back off. And actually playing pretty defensively. Might have been able to throw down the decay and then look for a smack on the VS for that second kill. But I mean, VP, they dedicate a lot to pick up that tower, but they lose 2, and Tame now in trouble on mid. Scandal, not sure if he's going to be having problems. Dragged back into the tower, now down on about half, but 6-minute rune, that's actually an invis down on bot. And unfortunate for Empire right now, they don't have any rune vision, though they weren't actually planning on having any with this high ground ward, which was dewarded. So I guess realizing that Scandal probably wasn't going to have rune control regardless, but gonna be unhappy with not being able to just regen up from the bottle. So how are things working out? Santa's now up to level 6. Airman obviously died trying to pick up that tower, so losing a little bit of that gold there. Now actually has his treads, but he's got something else flying out right now. Well, that's just a wand and a bracer picked up for him. Santa scouting out, and Triumph disconnecting from the game, so hopefully he'll be back soon. Funnick now with the smoke heading towards mid, and GoBlack is just waiting here with Invis. And Eternal Envy asking for a pause for the commentator, but not sure if it's going to happen. Yeah, looks like it's not going to be the case, so Silent gets stunned up on the high ground. Looks like he's going to be fine to retreat. The track up on him, now healing up. NS in trouble, gets hit by the Tether Stone and the Sting. Now drops the Black Hole, used, but doesn't actually catch Tame, so Funnick, a little bit of an airball there. Picks up 1 kill. Can he make it out? Still has a few seconds left on the Firefly. Santa comes in. Funnick now the target. Not quite knocked up onto the high ground, but knocked back to his doom, and just stands there and accepts it. So at the end of that exchange, VP now leading by 1, and Scandal actually dying in that fight as well. Not sure who killed him off, so Santa managing to pick up that last hit. And Envy still calling for a pause, but cries going unheard right now. Yeah, and question marks from both sides. But he's just... Exactly, Go Black. I think we've seen really unfortunate things with commentators, but I guess it doesn't really impact the overall course of the game. So hopefully Triumph will be able to make it back pretty soon. And Santa going forward aggressively on Blow. Support wasn't actually there, and now indecision from VP. They looks like they were trying to go all the way back around. Support's now going to be able to get in range of the bonus move speed, and Blow actually Rage on cooldown for a few seconds. Can they get the setup stun? The follow-up needs to be there perfectly. Blow actually drops. It's a track kill going the way of 3, but NS now stunned by the Malefice. Funnick comes in, able to secure that kill, and Go Black here as well. Looks like Santa's going to be fine to retreat. So KSI dragging some creeps back with him. Santa's heading towards a very early Vlad's on the Bounty Hunter. And a little bit of an unusual build. Oh, whoa, Airman dives the Dire base and secures himself a kill. So sorry about that, guys. That one, and a little bit unexpected, but diving all the way onto Silent and picking up that kill. And Triumph has now reconnected. So fortunate for him. I guess maybe Aussie internet freaking out for him there. And I can definitely sympathize. Tame in trouble on mid. Scandal comes in, throws out the Sonic Wave. Tame just trying to retreat. Did have those stick charges up, and don't think he's going to have to be denied here. Still has 1 more bottle sip, and the Tranquil Boots coming up. So looks like he's going to be fine. Heading towards his Blink. Still a pretty good timing for him right now. No death on the board just yet, and does now have the lasso available. So might be able to try and pick up a kill, and even just the setup stun from the VS, who's all the way back at base, should be enough to get him in range to jump on top of Scandal. And hello, Kion 1986, how you doing? So Blow, he's actually going for a Midas build in this game. So Empire sights a little bit set on the late game right now. VP, they're going for a Vlad's. They're going for an early game push. They want to try and secure this off the back of towers, but Blow sitting back. He's going for the Midas, now going back for the Armlet. But Empire relying on the fact that they might be able to hold on to this at least until the late game. And what's going on? Airman VP coming in with a smoke. Going to be spotting out Funnick. There was a ward here, and Go Black the target. 4 seconds down on him. The Malefice thrown down. Scandal now stuck. Can they finish him off? And not being able to get any follow-up there. Reality Rift cancelled. Funnick still being chased. Santa VP actually backing off a little bit. There's the follow-up stun. Scandal pops. Airman drops low. Pops with the stick charges. Reality Rift, not a very lucky one, however, lands him back in tower range. The Malefice finds that kill. And not sure what... Well, not quite sure what Airman was thinking there. Maybe thinking that another follow-up stun was available. But yeah, that's the end of that. So VP, good smoke gank. Find a couple of kills. Still really aggressive warding for them right now. And probably still have their sights set on this tier 1. At this moment. Silent finding a little bit of farm down on bot. Does now have the relocate available, so those 3-man relocate ganks that I touched on earlier are coming online now for Empire. But they really need to hold on to their towers, and Blow just can't really contribute all that much with the item build that he's gone for right now. So, and really hoping that, yeah, that I don't look at the viewer count. That's worked out badly for me in the past. So Tame in trouble on mid. Blow comes in. He gets the open wounds down. Trying to escape. Good flame break, but knocking Blow actually a little bit closer. Might be forced to use the drag. Actually had an invisor in bottle, so he's going to be fine. And now the turnaround from VP. Silent target, 4 seconds stun. The follow-up is there, but Blow rages it away. And Santa trying to escape. The tombstone is down. NS turns around, but it's 1-for-1 right now. VP on the retreat. Scandal gets the sting. KSI with the stun. Lucky reality rift there. And the Laguna Blade immediately popping Goblak. There's a gem on the ground. They need to pick this one back up. Gem on the ground, guys. What are you doing? Funnick comes in. He grabs that one. Now on the retreat. Tame is back. Gets the drag off. Scandal trying to do what he can. Focusing on Airman, but a 4-second stun under the tower. Great black hole by Funnick. NS, all he can do is sit on the side and right-click. Finds that kill, but Airman drops at the same time. Good flame break from Tame. And Silent looking for a solo kill, but I think this might actually be his death. A few more stacks is all that the Batrider needs to pick this one up. And yeah, Silent in big trouble. Throwing out the Wisp, maybe hoping that Tower will finish this one, but the flame break secures it. So, VP, in the end there, did we see a buyback used? Yes, we did. So, Tame went down, he bought back, but still a pretty good turnaround by them. Airman dropped, so the carry dies, but track gold should be in the hands of VP. So overall, a pretty reasonable exchange. And they managed to get their hands on Goblak's gem as well, so even a more significant economic swing there. So XP over 1k now in favor of the Radiant side, and over 4k gold this swing as well. Scandal doesn't really have all that much farm right now, and pretty much every single kill has been trailed by a death. So in terms of net worth, Santa actually leading the pack right now, though there might be something flying out to Airman. And Tame now has his Blink Dagger finished up as well, so he's going to have a big boost there. So Silent, what's he got? He's heading towards an urn. Not a whole lot of farm. We haven't seen the power of the relocate just yet. And Airman, not all that much farm, but he's got his drum, he's got his treads. He's still just a right-clicking machine right now. Santa finished up the Vlads, now heading towards a Yasha, so even more push for him, making the objective of this game really, really clear. Don't let this go late, don't let Nakes get scary, don't let the black hole be a big factor. And Wisp, as far as supports go, pretty good in terms of that late game. Santa now retreating, does get clipped by the dust, but not sure if they're going to be able to get in range in time. He does still have some phase boots to try and make his escape. So Empire dedicate forward, not able to pick up the kill. They might be able to secure themselves a tower. Scandal drag back on mid, and the follow-up stun just too much. Easy kill picked up by VP, and VP doing a great job of shutting down Scandal in this game. So, VP going to be looking for a trade, and Empire, are they going to try and send any TPs back, or is it just going to be 1-for-1? We've got KSI coming up to try and do what he can. Fortification pops as well, and VP coming in from the side. Santa looking for blood. Funnick now tracked up. Do they have the black hole available? They do not. It was used on that fight on mid, and it's still a minute away, so Empire still going forward aggressively onto the tower, but all of VP are here waiting. The tombstone zoning them out at least a little bit. So Blow able to secure that last hit, and he's now going forward, but the rest of Empire are going back. Funnick waiting all the way there, and Santa able to get a snipe off on the Dire Courier. So tower goes down, but they find a pretty much equivalent trade in just getting, well, picking off that squishy courier. And not sure if it had anything flying in. Who's got lower net worth than maybe expected? I mean, that could have even been Funnick's mech, and that might have spelt trouble, but he's got enough gold picked up that it probably wasn't. So VP now lead by 6. There's still a tier 1 for them to claim up on top. Only 200 health left, and VP not going for the Empire tactic of just backdooring tier 1s, since they don't have backdoor protection. Blow still trying to find what farm he can, but Hand of Midas, not sure if it was the right decision in this game. They just couldn't find space from Funnick and Scandal, and speaking of Scandal, he's being dragged back into a 4-second stun, into his death. Santa chasing forward aggressively. The Flame Break does get a knockback onto Funnick. He's considering the turnaround. He does now have the black hole available. Tame trying to make his escape, and Blow just doesn't have any damage with only naked boots. And a Hand of Midas picked up. I mean, even going for the Helm of Iron will before Blades of Attack or Gloves of Haste, and now Silent knocked back by the Flame Break. Tame, Malthus stunned up. He might drop here, though. Santa comes in. Good swap from KSI. He's going to eat a solo black hole there. The Batrider does drop at the same time, and VP trying to disengage. Scandal still chasing forward aggressively. A little bit low on mana. Can he get the sting? Still a little while away. Good infest. Can they find this one? There's the sting. There's the open wounds. Airman's gonna pop off the illusions. They're just going to town on Scandal. Huge kill there, blown at the target. Airman pops a drum charge to try and make his escape, but Empire still chasing. NS comes in from the side, stunned, chasing Empire back. So Airman, good turnaround for him right as he crested the high ground. Able to get a very lucky stun on Scandal and burst him down. But Empire, it's a turnaround of their own on another high ground. Airman comes back, but I think he's regretting that position. The Laguna Blade pops on Funnick, but Airman already dead, and NS trying to get the right clicks off, but a good tether stun and some stick charges from Funnick. Oh, can he escape? Oh, one spirit. Gonna be popping him there. Flamebreak comes in, Funnick drops. Good play by Tame, and most of that time bought by the Lina. They've still got the lasso. Can he get in range? Just gets Go Black, but the open wounds is there. KSI comes in, but it's 4 for Empire. Go Black dropping low, but so is Tame. A few more right clicks gonna spell his doom, but Santa comes in from the back. Sneaky pick off there, but the gem is back in the hands of Empire, so no escape along with the dust as well. He's trying to make it out just with the bonus move speed, and oh my god, Centaur stun of the century. Oh wow. So Santa escapes because Empire had 3 heroes standing right on top of a very luckily spawned Centaur. And MVP Centaur gets a 3-man stun and Santa escapes. So, Jesus Christ, that Centaur. Yeah, Centaur stomp of the century really there, guys. I think that deserves some epic music and a bit of a slow-mo. But okay, so let's have a quick check-in on what happened at the end of all of that. Empire find themselves on 15 kills, VP up to 21, so only a 6-kill split. Things actually heading back in favor of Empire right now, at least a little bit in terms of XP, though not the best story in terms of gold. They've still got tier 1s to pick up, however, so most of that gold lead is just backed up there. Blow now has his armlet finished up. Mithril Hammer picked up as well. Not sure what we'll see from that. There is a lot of stun for him to contest with, and the big problem with the Nakes, as always, 1 or 2 stuns. He's not all that tanky. The big problem with him is he either comes out at the end of a team fight on pretty much full HP and smacks everyone to death, or he bites 2 stuns and then bites the dust. So we could see the BKB. The first charge is 22 seconds of magic immunity, but it might be the Desolator. But interesting to see that he hasn't opted to finish off the treads just yet. And I guess fairly easily kited in this game, in fact, between the sticky napalm and obviously the lasso as well, going through the rage. So VP, couple of heroes up on top, Airman split pushing, and the relocate comes in along with the TP, looking for some kills. Stun actually connects on Silent. Airman drops low. Was he able to phantasm that nuke? Not sure if he was. Now stunned up by the Malphus. Silent trying to make his escape. He's going to be sent back to wherever he came from in just a second. Santa comes in from the side, and he's going to say goodbye. He TP's out. There's no stun in range. And very good point. Yes, Maelstrom uses a Mithril Hammer, but it's going to be the Desolator. He's picked up a second Mithril Hammer right now. So, a good call by Mr. Dill Pickled, but it is just going to be Dezo in this game. So, Empire, they find 1 kill. VP weren't really ready to take that team fight. And Tower now in trouble. Fortification pops, but Airman's still dead, at least for a little while. And Empire, this is a pretty big turnaround. They've got the mech picked up on Funnick. They've almost got the Dezo on Blow Your Brain. And now the Tower is going back the way of Empire. VP just, I mean, couldn't really finish off sort of the early game push that they were going for. I mean, we saw Santa, Vlad's and a Yasha heading towards that Manta style. Well, actually now switching back to the BKB. Ogre Club picked up. So just the Yasha for the bonus move speed, but couldn't make it up onto the high ground, or couldn't really use the push. I mean, there's still tier 2s up for Empire right now. So doing a pretty good job, and the CK now heading towards a BKB. He's pretty close, but he has sort of entered that mid-game region where he has trouble. CK, obviously great in the early game. You get drum, you get treads, you can go around the map, picking up kill after kill after kill, but he flounders a bit in the mid-game. Comes back strong in the late game. You pick up something like a heart, you've got your BKB, and then he's an absolute monster. But when he's only got 1 or 2 points up in the Phantasm and his nukes are starting to fall off a little bit, it does sort of spell trouble, and this is what Empire is sort of capitalizing on a little bit, along with some sort of weird decisions from VP, like committing to this tower, but not really having everyone in position to try and deal with it, maybe not factoring in the relocate ganks, since we haven't really seen them. But yeah, and Tame, he's got an Invisor and Bottled, a Flink, and a Force Staff, so he needs to be looking for these picks right now. VP grouping up to push. Roshan's still on nobody's mind just yet. I mean, VP would love to secure this tier 2 on mid before trying to go for it, since that's the only easy launch point in for Empire. And they're running a smoke right now. Funnigan from the side, he's got the black hole available, and the other 4 going around. Scandal infested up. And now the bonus move speed. Ennis is the target. They're going to pop off the ultimate. And Santa, is he in trouble? The drag back on Funnick, but the team fight's a little bit split up. And Santa, can he try and TP out? No, he cannot. Instantly popped by the Sonic Wave. And Tame trying to make his escape. Santa's going to buy back, but things are still pretty split up by VP. Though Empire make it out. They've still got the black hole up, and there's no lasso available for the Batrider. So a pretty good engagement, and they got that buyback out as well. Though they're looking for the pick. Invis rune used, but again, no lasso, so not sure they're going to be able to take this one, but Airman, he's looking for blood, jumps forward onto Silent, but gets stunned up by the tether and immediately bursted down. The tombstone used, stun, doesn't connect from NS, blow, moving forward aggressively, throws down the Laguna Blade, trying to make his escape with that bonus move speed with the Sting connect, and blow, not done just yet. There's the tether stun, another kill, going the way of Empire right now. VP just scattering, not able to deal with this death ball right now, and really can't find the pickoffs. So Empire, they're going to head over towards the Roshan pit, and it should be fine to pick this one up. I mean, there's still a tier 1 on bot that they could try and claim at the same time, but it's only 20 seconds away for Airman and NS. So just going for the safe play right now, heading straight into the pit. And Silent needs to get that tether in range to stun up Roshan. But that's a very, very minor point right now. And Roshan's dropping so quickly with the Dezo that it's not even a big deal. So Roshan going the way of Empire, and that's an Aegis picked up by Blow Your Brain. His farm was looking less than impressive a little bit before, but now with the Dezo and the Phase Boots looking pretty formidable. And VP, again, CK just not really all that relevant right now. He does not have his BKB finished up, and we haven't seen that come into play just yet. He is suffering a lot from the magical damage over on Empire. So that's going to be at least a little bit of a help. NS, he's got some Phase Boots up. I haven't actually checked in on items in a little bit. KSI is heading towards a mech. Santa still nowhere closer to that BKB with the death, and Tame still no clear indication of what his next big item is going to be. Over on Empire, what have we got? Still just cheap tank for Go Black, as you would expect. Wisp looking a little bit healthier. Scandal now heading towards a sheep, so he's got that ultimate orb picked up. We already checked in on Blow's items, and Funnick does now have a blink dagger picked up as well. So, big black holes may be coming up. Stay tuned, I suppose. But VP, they're on the back foot right now. Checking in on Golden XP. XP is now back in favor of the Dire. And with the towers picked up, it's a lot less of a split with those kills for Empire. And they've got a tier 1 coming their way down bot as well. So, Blow is still finding good farm. The Midas now actually paying off for him. Leading the map in terms of net worth. And VP just playing scared. Everyone's grouped up on mid, trying to find a little bit of farm. We'll find sparse farm wherever they can. Santa's getting pretty close to the BKB, and they are having a lot of trouble dealing with the Sonic Wave and all of the burst damage from the Queen of Pain. Worth mentioning the Wisp burst damage as well. Those spirits do hurt quite a bit. So Empire, they're not done, and they're just looking to take towers. They've got the Aegis up. They can do it. VP can't really look to take these 6v5 fights, especially with the black hole up. So they're looking to find trades. They're doing a pretty good job. I mean, Tame's heading up towards top to try and put some pressure on this tier 2. Maybe force a TP out. But Empire, I think the strategy for them right now is just go from tier 2 to tier 2 to tier 2. And if VP show their faces on top, it might actually just be a Rax push. We'll see if Empire back off. Now the Infest, they've got the relocate up. Funnick's now TPing back, but that's a 3-man relocate gank. Ready to go, and Go Black's actually just going to TP straight into the middle of everyone. This relocate needs to go immediately. Funnick comes in, gets the black hole down, but it's immediately swapped out. Good play by KSI. Funnick dropping low. Airman BK beat up. This is looking pretty good for VP right now. 2 buybacks already used from Empire, but they're just a little bit too split up. And Blow Your Brain now stuck in the middle of nowhere. Good positioning right now from VP. The Flame Break knocking Blow a little bit closer, but only losing KSI. And Empire lose 2 and 2 buybacks there. So pretty good play from VP, and I guess not the best timing from Empire. Go Black came in, but the relocate popped. Wasn't really able to do all that much, and Go Black was already dead. VP just ready to go for the jump as soon as they came in. So looking okay for them, and that BKB really coming into play right now, and showing that they do have the power to kite the Nakes around a little bit as well. So, how are things working out? I mean, Empire, they've still got the Aegis in tow. They've still got that for another 3 minutes. So there's not a huge rush for them. Though the only real objective that they can probably claim off of it is maybe a tier 2. And even that's a gamble, especially with the Flaming Lasso being off in just a second. And VP, they're going aggressive right now. 5-man smoke. And they've got aggressive wards down as well to spot out any movements. No wards on the map right now for Empire. Though I think VP do still hang on to that gem. No, Scandal's got the gem. So this ward is up, but I guess that might have, well, that really should have been checked. Funnick's going to know about it now as his death approaches. Goblak going to throw down the tombstone and the ultimate, but the tombstone already dead. Funnick immediately popped. Well, I mean, the Wisp silent immediately popped by the Laguna Blade. NS in trouble, though. He does have a Ghost Scepter blow being right-clicked down. Does still have that Aegis, however, but not sure if Empire are going to be able to take this fight. Ant-Man still chasing. He's pretty low on health. Gets a 3-second stun on Goblak. NS now turning around for the follow-up. Funnick chasing forward aggressively. Santa maybe in a little trouble. He's going to be killed off at the same time. And Empire is still chasing right now. Funnick looking for the blink. NS trying to make his escape. The Malphite stun was actually off cooldown, but good little juke by NS there. And Scandal still chasing Airman, but looks like he's going to be fine to escape. So not bad from VP. They got the pick off on Funnick. They forced out, they forced out an additional buyback from the 2 that they forced out from the previous fight. So that was Funnick's buyback, and not a bad exchange overall. So how is this working out? Funnick, we haven't seen the Blink Black Hole really pay off just yet. It does obviously have the potential to be game breaking at sort of any point. And Empire, they've still got that gem. I would love to see Scandal just jump up onto this high ground and deal with this Observer Ward right now. And I mean, surely Funnick must know. He was immediately spotted out. I guess a little bit weird from Empire. When you have 5 heroes bum rush you right in your own jungle and know exactly where you are and have Batrider blink on you, you have to at least have a small suspicion that there's a ward here. But anyway. So Empire, they're now down the Aegis. They don't have buybacks up for at least another 2 minutes. So it's a pretty dangerous situation for them right now. And Santa getting back on top in terms of net worth. Those track kills are paying off. Gold actually still getting back towards dead even right now. Empire actually finding the farm, and VP still looking for pickoffs. What has Batskater picked up? So that's a Yules for the Batrider there. So it gives them something else to try and cancel the Enigma's Black Hole since he doesn't have a BKB. And pretty good, I guess, at kiting around the Lifestealer as well. Bonus move speed, worth mentioning as well. So this is going to be one very speedy Batskater once he picks that one up. And the VP group up and push for them right now. Empire do still have the Black Hole up, but they really need one to connect for this next team fight. As we've already seen, the Undying is becoming less and less relevant in these fights. And Wisp, a pretty big target for the burst damage as well. Goblak's in trouble. The Force Staff hasn't been used, so he's going to be heading down onto the low ground. He is dead. No two ways about it. Airman Sheep already used by Scandal, so that's going to be on cooldown by a little bit. And this is a pretty big window of opportunity for VP to take this tower, no problem. I mean, Silence all the way off on the side. Not a whole lot that he can do. So Empire, they've got the good defensive team fight, but they need a very big black hole to connect. And KSI is always just going to be waiting to use that rank 2 swap to cancel it in. The range gets pretty big once you get it up to level 2. Rank 1 swap, if you put the black hole in between you and the VS, it can spell a little bit of trouble. But with the rank 2, I mean, even if Funnick gets a BKB, then he's going to be able to cancel that one. So I guess that factors into Funnick's decision making to go the naked blink as opposed to going something like a BKB or a Lincoln's. There's always going to be enough to cancel the black hole. So unless he gets a 5-man black hole, then it's probably going to be cancelled pretty quickly. I mean, there's a Shuriken Toss from the Bounty Hunter. CK's, as always, got his stun, though it's a pretty short range. Obviously, we've got the swap, and now we've got the Yules up on the bat, along with the Flame Break. So short of a 5-man black hole, not sure if Funnick's going to be able to find one. And Empire now going for a little bit of a smoke gank. They know that Roshan is up in about 2.5 minutes, so they do have enough time. Well, it's not the biggest gamble, is what I'm trying to say right now. If they go and they get wiped out, then they'll still have enough time to respawn before there's any trouble. And going for the 3-man relocate infest gank, immediately bursting 10 Santa on bot. And they still got the gem, so Scandal hasn't actually died since managing to pick that one up. And VP would really love to get their hands on that one right now. Santa not feeling very happy about that relocate gank. So Empire, they buy themselves some time. They might buy themselves a Bounty Hunter buyback, depending on how the next few minutes goes. They've got their eyes set on Roshan, but it's 2 minutes away. So Santa is going to respawn. And VP, not sure what NS is on about right now. Quick check in on items. What have we got? We've got a heart finished up for Blow Your Brain. Not sure where all this net worth has been coming from, but it's been a little bit preposterous, in fact. And I guess Midas paying for itself. Yeah, Midas really paid off this game. We've got the Hex finished up on the Queen of Pain. Not a whole lot of item progression for the Wisp, and not a whole lot for Go Black either. What have we got over on VP? Airman's heading towards a heart of his own. He's not all that far away. KSI, he's got that mech finished up. NS, he's got a Yules picked up as well. So I guess it's mass tornado strat for VP right now. And if Blow Your Brain can't hit anyone, then all of his farm is really for naught. So chain Yules, chain disable between the Flaming Lasso as well. And VP in a pretty good position. I mean, they don't really need to dedicate disables to the black hole, since there's always going to be a couple available to try and cancel it. And Empire going for a smoke right now, but we'll see if this works out. Whichever way this gank works out is going to be whoever picks up Roshan. And VP, how split up are they? Tame shows himself down on bot, but Empire, they just smoke straight into the pit. But VP already in position to try and contest this. They know, well, they know that Roshan is going to be up in just a second. And Go Black now throwing down a ward. There's no counter wards or anything, so that's not going to be spotted out by this OBS. And VP not grouped up, but they don't have a smoke of their own or anything like that. There's nothing flying out. KSI doesn't have one, so they're going straight past these wards to get towards the pit. And Roshan already dropping low, down at about half. That Desolator really paying off for Blow Your Brain right now, but in come VP. Santa, the first target, gonna throw down his BKB, but maybe just a little bit early. Blow already dropping low, and Go Black, huge black hole, hits on two, but there's the swap, canceling it off. Big Sonic Wave into the top, but KSI the only one really taking damage from that. Airman trying to make his retreat. Funnick drops low. Santa being smacked down. One dead so far. Tame's gonna send himself up into the air. Airman dropping low, now dropped. NS turning around, right click from SS. Picks him up that kill, double kill for the Wisp, and KSI trying to make his retreat. Now pops off the mech. Not sure why he held on to that one for so long in that fight. So it's a triple kill for the Wisp there. And Empire only losing Funnick. So pretty good fight for them. Tame trying to do what he can, but I think Empire should be fine to pick up Rush. And Blow actually just getting a little bit of HP up on mid. So Empire fine to pick up Rush. Yeah, Wisp triple kill. 2 Diver, SEA, well, SEAU. I do occasionally play ODL. I should play more, but I am not that great. So I try to avoid making myself look noob by playing in ODL. But I guess I'll expect me to be playing more soon, hopefully. So Empire, let's give a quick status update on how this game is working out for them. XP tells a little bit of the story of the game. It's heading back heavily in favor of Empire. Gold actually still in favor of VP right now, but I think I misspoke about the XP. XP is in favor of Empire. Gold still a little bit in favor of VP, but 2.5k gold at this point in the game just isn't really all that significant. And I study at UQ. It's great. I should leave these questions for in between games, guys. Sorry, I shouldn't be interacting with chat. Very unprofessional of me. So VP, they're in a little bit of trouble. I mean, Blow's got the Aegis. They just need to kite him in fights. There's not really the potential for them to kill him, and something's happening on mid, but Scandal gets the blink away. Another drag back by Tame. Good mouth is done by Funnick, and the relocate comes in. Scandal's gonna drop, but so is NS. Is there a buyback? Yes, there is from Scandal. He's TPing straight in. Santa's gonna drop, and Tame trying to make his escape. KSI TP out. He's gonna be able to make that one. And Airman making his retreat off to the side. But VP coming aggressively and get punished for it, and Scandal's not done. Gets the Hex down on Airman. There's the tether stun, and I don't think Airman is making it out of this one. The Malphus stun as well. There's going to be another tether in just a second. He's trying to make his escape, but manning up on the Wisp, not going to get 4 lucky crits in a row. So Wisp is going to survive, and he's got a Vitality booster as well, just to tank him up a little bit more. So Empire, it's looking honestly really good for them right now. VP, they've got good skirmish sort of potential, but not strong overall team fight. I mean, they don't really have long cooldowns to work around. The lasso is really the biggest one for them. And taking 5-on-5 engagements against Empire hasn't really been working since Blow Your Brain has come online, and he's now got an AC picked up. So this tower is going to have absolutely no armor, and it's going to be shredded in just a few seconds. VP now with a few buybacks. Looks like Batrider's still on the sidelines for 10 more seconds. He's already used his buyback earlier, and Empire already onto the racks, throwing down the Midnight Pulse, and it's going to be the melee barracks picked up uncontested. They really need to wait for the Batrider, but Empire fine to escape. Reality Rift back, but Scandal still hanging on to that TP. Now the Hex already used. Open wounds on Airman. He's in trouble, but Yule's up on the Lifestealer. BKB popped by Airman, gets the Reality Rift back, but Below finds the real Airman immediately. Right clicks there, drag back into the middle of the base, but Empire are chasing in, and he's still got the Aegis. Black Hole connects on Santa. Pop there. KSI throws out the swap just to cancel it, but not sure if it's going to be enough to save Santa. Juking around the side, and VP actually going to call the GG. So they tap out, and Empire take the game and the series. So VP, that's not it for them. They're going to be knocked down to the loser bracket final, where they're going to face up against Dignitas. Empire, they're going to advance to our grand final, so facing the winner of Dig versus VP. But anywho, wait, I got a prize for the multi-kill? What? I'll check that in just a second. So Empire take the GG. I'll wait for the final score screen since it'll be just a second away. VP are knocked down to face Dig, which is coming up pretty soon, I believe. But anyway, I've been Basskip. This was the Premier League. So Empire versus VP, our winner bracket. This is our winner bracket final. So as I've said about 3 times already, Empire advance. As always, I'm just an unofficial cast. So big thanks to TPL for letting me cover this one. A reminder that over on the Premier League stream, the official coverage is by Triumph of Man and No Tidehunters captain, Eternal Envy. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast, and I'll be back with some more Premier League action coming up very soon.